Every man has a breaking point. But what few realize is that, in the name of love, many go beyond this point and lose themselves in the process. They forgive what should never be forgotten. They accept what slowly destroys them, and they call patience what is actually submission in disguise. The truth is simple, but painful. There are attitudes that, when they come from a woman, a man should never forgive, because in that case, forgiveness is not noble. It is the beginning of one's own downfall. Today, I'm going to show you what really makes a man lose respect in a relationship, and why trying to fix it can be the same as self-destruction. If you've ever been through something like this, stay until the end. This video will open your eyes in a way no one has ever had the courage to do. Take advantage and sign up now, because what comes next will completely change the way you see love. When she humiliates you in public, when a woman humiliates you in public, something inside you breaks. A mistake made in private can be forgiven, discussed, and resolved calmly. But when she exposes you in front of others, when she makes jokes, mocks you, belittles you, or turns your pain into a spectacle, what's lost isn't just the peace of the moment. It's respect, and respect, once destroyed, does not return. Because in that moment, even without saying anything, she sends you a clear message: I don't admire you anymore. And when admiration ends, love begins to die. Man can endure failures, fights, disagreements, but contempt? This is the blow that no man can bear. Because contempt steals the essence of masculinity. It makes you feel invisible, small, powerless, and the worst part is that often he tries to hide it. He says to himself, it was just a joke. She didn't mean it like that. But deep down, you know something has changed. Forgiving a humiliation is the same as accepting a lesser place within the relationship itself. And when a man gets used to this, he begins to disappear into himself. But the most dangerous thing is not even being humiliated. That's what comes next, when she starts testing you, to see how far she can go before she loses you for good. And that's what we're going to talk about now. 2. When she tests you to see how far she can go, when a woman starts testing you, it's not just curiosity. It's a silent way of measuring how far she can push you before you react. At first, it seems harmless. She arrives late on purpose, makes a comment that bothers you, acts in a way she knows will make you uncomfortable, just to see what you do. These little tests are like signals. She wants to know if you have limits, or if you'll accept anything in the name of love. But when the test turns into provocation, manipulation, or emotional blackmail, something changes. The relationship ceases to be a partnership and becomes a power game. Every time you give in, believing you're being patient or understanding, she learns something dangerous, that she can push it a little further, and respect fades away. Not all at once, but little by little, like a candle burning in the dark. Because a man who doesn't set boundaries isn't seen as kind, he's seen as weak. And when that happens, he stops being the partner and becomes the target. A man without emotional boundaries is easily controlled, molded, dominated. But there's something even crueler than being tested. It's what comes next. When she realizes she can hurt you, and decides to use that to her advantage. And that's where the real destruction begins. When she cheats, even emotionally cheating doesn't always start in bed. Often, it begins in silence. It starts with an innocent conversation, an exchange of glances that lasts longer than it should, a message responded to with too much enthusiasm. It's subtle, almost invisible. But that's where the bond begins to break. Because true betrayal doesn't happen in the body. It happens in the soul. When she starts sharing with another man what she should share with you, the secrets, the easy laughter, the comfort, the attention, something inside her is gone. Even though the body is still present, the heart has already changed location. And what hurts is not the loss, but the silent comparison. You feel like she's distant, but you don't know exactly why. Gestures change, looks change, the way of speaking changes. Even the silence between you feels different, heavy, cold, awkward. The man who forgives this loses more than trust. He loses ground. Because trust, once broken, never returns the same. She may even feign regret, but the respect that sustained the relationship is gone. And the cruelest thing is that there is an even more dangerous form of betrayal. The one that comes disguised as care, as sincere concern. It's when she pretends to protect, while in fact, she's already moving away. And it's this kind of betrayal that no one tells you about, but you need to understand. When she manipulates you emotionally, I only said that because I love you. This phrase sounds sweet, but it is actually the beginning of a trap. This is how emotional manipulation begins, disguised as affection, wrapped in beautiful words, but full of poison inside. When love becomes a justification for control, guilt, and blackmail, the relationship stops being a bond. It becomes an invisible leash. You start to wonder if you really did something wrong, even when you know you didn't. Start apologizing just to avoid fights, and little by little, his voice fades away. Emotional manipulation is the most silent and dangerous weapon there is. She doesn't come screaming, nor does she demand that you submit right away. She wins you over, gets you involved, and when you realize it, you're already trapped. You start to blame yourself for everything. You're afraid of displeasing someone, and you start to live on high alert, trying to guess their mood. A man who forgives manipulation loses something more valuable than pride. He loses control over his own mind. And when you lose control, you lose respect, because there is no love where there is domination. And the next step, after manipulation, is the most dangerous of all, when it stops controlling you and starts punishing you. When she loses respect, love can withstand a lot of things: time, routine, arguments, and even pain. But there is a limit that, once crossed, there is no going back: respect. A woman can say, "I love you," 1,000 times. But if those words are accompanied by shouting, irony, comparisons, and manipulation, love loses its meaning. Because respect is the foundation of everything. Without it, a relationship becomes a battlefield where one tries to defeat the other, and no one comes out unscathed. Lack of respect doesn't appear overnight. It starts with small actions: an ill-timed joke, a public criticism, a look of contempt. But each such gesture is like a crack, and in the end, the structure collapses. The man who forgives disrespect teaches the world to treat him the same way. It shows that you are willing to accept less than you deserve. And when this happens, he not only loses power within the relationship, he also loses his own dignity, because when respect dies, love becomes just a memory, and what comes after is even worse. The next stage is the most destructive of all: contempt. And when a woman reaches that point, there is nothing left to save. When she feels contempt for you, contempt is the last stage, the point of no return. It's when she no longer feels anger, sadness, or the desire to argue. Her silence ceases to be peace and becomes a sentence. She no longer sees you as a man, but as a nuisance, a burden she carries out of habit. The look changes. Words lose their affection. Her presence stops warming and starts freezing the environment. You feel like something is over, but you can't explain it. And the cruelest thing is that she also knows. She just doesn't say it. When contempt comes, love is long dead, because the opposite of love is not hate. It's indifference. And when a woman starts treating you as if you didn't exist, there's no conversation, promise, or memory that can rekindle what was extinguished. To forgive contempt is to accept one's own end. It's insisting on a relationship where you've already been replaced, not by another man, but by emptiness. And yet many remain, trying to resurrect something that only exists in memory. But the real power isn't in persisting. It's in getting up and walking away. Because after contempt, what comes next is not love. It is its reconstruction, and that's what you need to understand now. Conclusion: what a man needs to understand. Real man knows how to forgive, but he also knows when forgiveness becomes weakness. Forgiving a mistake is noble, but forgiving something that destroys your essence is abandoning yourself. Because there are attitudes that don't ask for understanding. They ask for distance. You can love someone and still choose to protect yourself. You may miss it, but decide not to go back. You can remember the good times without ignoring the harm that was done. That's not coldness, that's maturity. When a man forgives what kills respect, he is not saving the relationship. He is only postponing the end and burying, little by little, the man who existed within him, the one who had voice, dignity, and worth. Healthy love doesn't require you to erase yourself to fit in with the other person, and whoever truly loves you will never put you in a position to humiliate yourself. In the next video, I'll show you the 5 subtle signs she's lost respect for you, and mainly how to act before it completely destroys your confidence and power.